Good morning. It is December 2nd, and this is Maria Quattrone with Be the Solution podcast. And our belief at Be the Solution is that we believe that we should all live our lives to bring value to others. Our purpose is to learn how the most successful people and organizations are being the solution. Our goal is to help our listeners to become the solution and a solution oriented. Our vision is for a world of people who are problem solvers. What would our world look like if everyone was being the solution? And today I welcome my guest, Kristin Daly from Philly Luxury. Kristin is a team leader and partner at KW Philadelphia. Welcome, Kristin.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Maria. I'm so excited to be here. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. It's a bright Wednesday in December. Hard to believe, but here we are, 2020 December. And Kristin, what's going on in your world?
It's a great question. I never know, Maria. I never know. Every day is so different during quarantine. So, as we were talking about before we went live, this year has been so intense for so many people and has been intense. Really for everybody in our business. Before going live, I was just reminding myself of your interview with V2 and Vince. And I think that for everyone in real estate, the year started off with this massive amount of momentum.
It did.
And we were all running in January, February, and in February, my team and I had a great month. We closed about 5 million in volume. We're excited about the year. We wanted to replicate that every month. And then as we went through, we finished the first quarter, got into the second, and realized the traumatic situation that the world was in with coronavirus. And then how we had to plan to attack coronavirus basically and stay at home. It was very difficult, I think, on all of us in the business. Staying at home, not being able to work, not being deemed essential, closing down job sites. As Vince said, I think he had to close down about 140 sites, which was insane. So it really was humbling, I think, for all of us in the business. And it changed the trajectory, frankly, of a lot of new people in the business, because a lot of new people in the business just didn't survive that period. And we had a little bit of turnover on my team during that time. And we also, fortunately, were able to recover in the third quarter, and we picked up a couple of new team members that are awesome. And now here we are in the fourth quarter and finishing out the year strong, still working really, really hard. I think I gave a presentation at the Union League of Philadelphia the other day, and I talked about how, our year, a lot of times in residential real estate, our years are made, or we have our Black Friday, I guess, when we're in the black by June, because our second quarter is usually the biggest, most productive, lucrative quarter. Because it's the spring market. But this year, things didn't settle down until basically the end of November, in my opinion, at least for me. And, we have a strong December coming up. But yeah, I'm careful, I'm watchful, I'm playing red light, green light with my expenses. I'm looking to kind of whittle down what is necessary to prepare for January, February, March of next year, because we don't know what's around the corner. And it's frankly just until the coronavirus vaccine is distributed, it's a good lesson in running and owning and surviving in a sensitive business environment. So, and always hustling like you, Maria.
I try to hustle less.
Or hustle
working.
smarter. Yeah. And you've done a really good job of that with your podcast and being the solution. Our team this year did something similar over the summer months when we were really, the spring, summer months when we were really challenged by the intensity of coronavirus. We put together a leadership series and invited speakers like Nick Baer from Saxby's and, people from Drexel and Jefferson and a lot of other people to speak. And it was really empowering and inspiring and helped us kind of continue to slog through the changing work environment that we were in and inspire us. And I have to say too that I'm thankful for so much every day. I mean, every day a lot of what I'm thankful for, and this isn't just because it's Thanksgiving time, but a lot of what I'm thankful for includes the fact that, no one immediately around me has coronavirus or has suffered from it. I know a lot of other people have, but in my, my kids and my parents, like we've been safe. And that, we're alive and thriving. And then thirdly, I'm honored and happy to be in real estate because I look around me at some of the challenges that other business lines have right now, like the restaurant industry and, many others. And this whole time period has just been so unfair to those entrepreneurs. And so I try to eat out as much as possible or get delivery as much as possible safely and really try to support the restaurant industry. Because I can't imagine the stress that they're going through.
Yeah, difficult times for sure.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of businesses reinvented.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of industries will be reinvented. I think there'll be kind of maybe, hopefully, a renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Like we haven't had a renaissance in over 500 years. So this would be the time for businesses to be reborn. And as soon as you have retail locations, you will start to open up and allow people to rent at a lower price point. It'll make that possible, maybe like pop-up shops. And I don't know. I think that there's a lot of opportunity out there too, but it is a very trying time for sure. And I'm grateful as well, Kristen, to be in the real estate industry. And unfortunately, in our family, we've had and close friends of mine have been infected with COVID. So it's been definitely a trying time. But I wanted to know, because you said something early on in the podcast about, you feel like that COVID has humbled you. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think has been the biggest learning lesson for you in 2020?
I guess the biggest lesson is to recognize the resiliency of yourself and others around you. Being resilient, the concept of resiliency. It's so important in real estate and other businesses and entrepreneurship. And resiliency is something that all of us can embrace and we can all be good at it. But it is something you can practice. And I don't think about it in this much detail all the time because I think I have a natural aptitude for being resilient. And again, everybody can do it, but people have varying degrees of aptitude for resiliency. And in our business, because we all are entrepreneurs and owners of our own business, if you're good at being resilient, you can have an amazing career. You can have the sky's the limit. You can be the owner of your own brokerage. You can be partners. You can run your team. You can have a well-rounded life. You can have a family. But every day there are opportunities to practice resiliency because there are so many like ups and downs. And I think that's what I'm most, I'm thankful and grateful for so many things, but I really notice my aptitude for being resilient. And I'm thankful for that. And it's just part of my nature, but I hope other people can practice it and learn more about how to bounce back after disappointment and maybe, experience the disappointment for a time period that is finite that you set for yourself.
So what do you suggest that they do?
Like set an alarm.
Yeah, do they get 5 days, 5 minutes, or 5 hours?
No, they get 5 minutes.
5 seconds, 5 seconds.
Yeah, and that was really at the beginning of coronavirus. I became very concerned. I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, my quality of life in the city of Philadelphia, and I love urban living. I explained in another presentation that I have love affairs with city environments and urban environments. And I love my flowing through the city. I love my beat as I walk through the city, and I do a lot of walking from my house to my office to my nail salon to my lunch date or whatnot. And when the first phase of coronavirus was starting, I realized that all of that would be affected. And those are all tools that I use as a busy parent of two boys who are 7 and 9, and a busy business owner, and just a human. Those are all places that resonate me and help me continue my resiliency and to get through my day. So I was really, really concerned. But I guess we all found ways to pivot. We all realized that we didn't necessarily need what we thought we needed, and we were able to reroute what made us resilient. And so instead of going to have a beautiful lunch or a late lunch, early dinner at Tria, I was able to order their amazing, spread of food at home, and they took really good care of us. And I love the owners of Tria, and they really packaged up a nice delivery dinner that we were able to enjoy at home instead of at Tria watching the Philadelphia landscape. So that's just like one small example, but I hope that everybody practiced resiliency and was able to bring themselves back up after this whole period would cause people to fluctuate quite a bit with their thoughts and their different ways of dealing with chaos, really, because we've been through a lot of chaos this year.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So your team is in a large brokerage that you're part of, and so there's a lot of agents there. And I know you said you've seen some of the newer agents not be able to make it through. What's some advice that you could give to somebody that has less experience in the industry right now, that is struggling to make it happen on a daily basis? Is there any kind of routine that you have that you do, or something you do for your mindset, Kristen?
Well, that's a great question. And, now that I've been in the business for 15 years, yes, we have a massive brokerage of almost 400 agents and, et cetera, at KW Philly. But when I got into the business in 2006, I wanted to I knew the sales end of the business because I'd been in corporate sales for about 10 years in Chicago, where I'm originally from. And I got into real estate just wanting to make money. I purchased a house that was maybe a teeny bit too expensive for me. I wasn't in a position where I was saving a lot of money. And so I felt really uncomfortable. And again, going back to resiliency and bouncing back, I created a solution and I got my real estate license, and I thought, okay, I just want to make money quickly because I want to save money again.
To pay off the house that you bought that was
yeah, yes, and pay off my house and my car at the time and whatnot. So I got my license, and I have to admit, I've always been, even though we have this massive brokerage right now, I've always been a fan of the underdog. And so I joined a little known brokerage at the time that was just starting, which was the first Keller Williams franchise in Philadelphia. And we started basically out of a one-room office around Washington Square.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And so, and a friend of mine from Chicago, New Mexico, wherever, she sent me the website for the team leader, Antonio Adican, and the broker of the office. And I joined his team and was on his team for a year and a half, and it was a great experience. And I then stayed with KW Philadelphia for 10 years and had a great experience working nonstop after I decided to go on my own as an individual agent for 4 years, where everyone knows the story. I think I tell it a lot, but I, ate, slept, was breathing, eating real estate for about 4 years. And it
That's
was,
pretty much what it's like, though, when you start, right?
yeah. And I
A
remember
lot of
those.
people don't know that. They don't understand. I said, in the first 5 years, I worked 7 days straight.
Yeah. And a lot of people, I think that our industry has been sensationalized and dramatized in good ways and unique ways,
And not
uh,
so good ways.
and not so good ways. But I mean, I don't think that I don't know. I guess that's what I would advise new people to our business to understand the I guess question and analyze and work on their work ethic. Like, because our industry has been sensationalized so much on HGTV and Selling Sunset, and these are all shows that I love, and I
$1 million listing. That's
yeah, and I know you've been on some of these shows. I was on House Hunters. Like, I love the outfits that the women wear in Selling Sunset. They look amazing.
great. If only we could look like that every day as we're, you know, trying to get through a new construction site that has no stairs to the front.
Yeah, or just get my kids to school. Anyway, so I think that that's what I would recommend for new people, is to really understand the work ethic that the top people in real estate have. The second thing I would advise new people to remember, consider, evaluate is that the business isn't about them. It's about the client. That's how I feel anyway. And so when you understand that, that understanding like helps shift shift, I think, thoughts around like and helps create more work ethic or a stronger work ethic, because it's really I think the sensationalizing of our industry over the last 10 years, as real estate has been just riding up and up and up in popularity and value. I think it's created this like platform for like, hey, look at me, I'm awesome. But then what do you have to back that up with?
You need
And
to
so
have substance behind it, and
yeah, I
you
and also, and I guess then the third thing I would recommend for new people in the business is attach yourself, whether it's a brokerage or a person or a mentor, attach yourself to someone that either actively or passively you can admire, trust, learn from. um I attach myself to you in ways, and you're a mentor. Hopefully I'm a mentor for you in different ways. Like, we just we play off of each other. It doesn't have to be a formal structured, like, I don't need a contract to have you as my mentor. But you, in our business, you need, or any business, any entrepreneurial business, you need people to rely on, trust, and admire and pattern yourself after. And then you also need to like learn their stories. I'm sure that, Maria, you have a million success stories of everything you've accomplished in your career, and they're amazing. And I'm sure that like in a second you can rattle off like 3 to 5 of them right now. And I can too. And new agents need to be able to tell stories, and they need to be able to tell stories in great detail so that they earn the trust of their client. So you need to be able to describe a new construction development and platform, and present, a framework for marketing to a developer or a team of developers right off the cuff, off the top of your head, and then maybe dig down into the details. And that's exactly what I need to do too for my luxury clients who are moving in from northern New Jersey or the suburbs of Philadelphia. They need to know what's going on at the Laurel. What's the price per square foot? What are the amenities? How flexible are they with pricing? What's going on with Art House? Why does Art House look like it's more developed than the Laurel right now? What's 2100 Hamilton? Like, we have to create these ways of interacting and speaking, and you have to do it instinctively. Like, it has to roll off your tongue. You can't, you have to be educated. And
so
in order, in order to do that, find a great mentor, like Maria or like Kristen.
So like that's a good segue into what's going on with those developments now, Kristen.
Oh gosh, it's so exciting. So yeah, we have a great success story this year. We sold a condo for a client at the Western Union building in February. That was part of our February success. And because we protected the seller's interest, we hosted an open house at that listing just after it went under contract. I had very low expectations for that. And as you may know, I love hosting open houses.
Are you doing them now?
We haven't done as many this year for obvious reasons because we couldn't. Yeah. Now we're doing a little bit again.
Well,
so
I see some people doing them like a lot, like normal, and then I see a lot of people not doing them. So I just was curious what your take on what it was.
Yeah. So we are doing them, and I think it's up to the client whether they want to come into an open house or whether they don't want to come into an open house.
Do you think people really want to do that?
So our open houses have been busy.
But are there vacant property?
For the most part, they're vacant properties. Like we have a great investment property or single family home on the 800 block of North Judson when I was there a couple weeks ago. And I like hosting open houses at our listings when I can. I don't host them every weekend. Our team, will. Sure. But I like hosting them because I feel like I can truly understand the interest level of the property at those open houses. And then I can think strategically when I'm there on site to figure out what we may need to do with marketing. What about pricing? What, does the property need staging? What are some things that we can do to move this property forward? Because while a lot of properties have been flying off the market, and some properties have been in, have been sold in competitive situations this year, there are other properties that are not. For whatever.
I see a lot of inventory sitting, Kristen, and a lot of price adjustments happening. I don't know if you're I'm on that sheet probably 5 times a day. Mm-hmm. And there's more adjustments coming down than there are new listings or pendings coming out.
Yeah. I just adjusted a bunch yesterday. Well, we dropped 2409 Delancey by 200,000.
So what's it at 1.9 now?
Yeah, it's at 1.9. So take a look at that. It's open this weekend, and it is vacant. So that's something that somebody in your network might be interested in, actually.
I think what's happening right now in the higher price point development opportunities is that there's a lot of inventory on the market. Mm-hmm. And I think it's for a lot of people, it's very much more risky than normal times. Is what I've been seeing anyway. Been the experience that we've had. Even I think if you're in the 200 to 450 range anywhere, you're pretty safe. But after that, it starts to become this weird gray spot.
Yeah, the reality is that not everyone has the money, frankly, or the desire to take on these financially intensive projects. Not everybody has that. So, and when you take a look at our luxury listing at 1816 Delancey, which is a renovated single family home that we have listed for 4.5, which will also be open this weekend. And please join us because it's rare that a property like that is open, especially during coronavirus. And it hasn't been. This is the first time we're doing it. And it's vacant as well. The days on market for a property like that, although we're shooting to cut that in half or like in a third with our efforts, but selling a property like that may take 2 years because there aren't hundreds of buyers who qualified to buy that, especially when people are trying to leverage probably a strong cash position right now going into the unknown of 2021. And so we have a lot of work to do on that property
Well,
to find the right buyer for that, you know.
in Philadelphia County, the inventory, only 0.04% of it is over $1 million.
Right.
So it's a very tiny, tiny, tiny fragment that people can afford. I mean, you know, how much income do you need to make to purchase something for 4.5 million?
Yeah, exactly. And so, fortunately, with our market,
By the way,
thank you. Yeah, we're excited to work with it. It's
yeah,
a quintessential block, and like your Christmas tree in the background, we have it all set up for the holidays.
That thing's not done yet, but
it still looks really
on it. Maybe
yeah. No, it looks great. But, you know, with our marketing team and our strategy behind it and our photos and what we've done in different publications, and tomorrow we have a big marketing push that's going out to like 3 different states for this weekend. I'm sorry.
What is that about? Are you just digitally or?
So it's digitally, and we've engaged a marketing partner, Cashman and Associates, Nicole Cashman and her team, and they're helping us market this exquisite, unique, high valued property because it's likely that the buyer for this property is not in Philadelphia. And so where are they? And this is what keeps me up at night, Maria.
I'm sure.
I almost
last night.
I'm sorry.
Were you up at 3:09 last night? This morning?
Actually,
I was.
Actually, last night I don't. That was one night. I think I got a really good night's sleep last night for one. So thankfully, no, I don't think I was up at 3:09. But who knows? The buyer for 1816 Delancey may be in Seattle. The buyer for 1816 Delancey may be in Houston. We're going to try to capture the Maryland, DC, New York, you know, maybe Northern Jersey market by our blast tomorrow. And we're going to see what happens. And I think that's another beauty of the business that I love, and it humbles me because I love the spontaneity and the surprise element of our business. I love when I am I'm present at a property and somebody walks in. This happened to me a couple weeks ago, and he and his partner may be buying like 3 properties. They have a 1031 exchange that they need help with. They need a primary residence, and they've just been like floundering and wandering through this real estate landscape in Philadelphia on their own. And anyway, long story short, you're just, I worked hard to build trust, to send them value, to be instantaneous and responsive. And I think we have a really nice relationship. They haven't purchased anything yet, but there's so many consumers out there right now, from, emerging developers to executives who may be doing some things on their own, because people may like to be a little private about what they're doing in their real estate world, and they may just start off on their own and continue kind of to work on their own without dedicated support. And so that's why having a realtor, engaging and signing a buyer agency contract, really respecting that relationship and understanding its value, and then from the agent side delivering value back to that client, it's just so important, and it's a beautiful thing. I love seeing it. It can be very surprising too. Again, that's like, I'm excited to work this weekend. I was bored yesterday because it was Tuesday. Magic happens over the weekends, I think, in real estate. Oh, I want to quickly introduce somebody who helps me a lot.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Nice to meet you.
So I have a great story about Leo. When Leo was maybe, I don't know, 3 years old, we were selling a property on Mount Vernon that was a great story in itself. And Leo helped me open some doors, and we earned a repeat client from New York who was an investor. I think we helped them buy about buy and sell 4 different properties. And so he's a pretty good advocate for real estate, right, babe?
Thank you.
You got a good helper there.
Yeah, they're funny. Oh, and that's another thing I love about our business, Maria, is the ability to teach a young generation, any generation, whether it's millennial, whether it's younger than millennial. I don't even know what generation he is, honestly. I think it's like Generation Z, maybe. But the ability to very tangibly teach younger generations about the importance of real estate and money, financials, good credit, leading with revenue, managing your expenses. Why can't I buy you that toy, Leo? Well, maybe after, our deals close this month, then we can celebrate, once we have, income. And so it's just, and my kids see how hard we work as a team, how hard I work. They've been a really good, strong part of my business since they've been born.
That's cute.
Yeah.
And it's never too early to learn about how to manage your money. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wish, I got into real estate when I don't know if I've finished these stories that I've started with this conversation with you, but I got my license when I was almost 30. And you probably got your license when you were 18, right?
Oh, right. Thank you. You're sweet.
No, but I mean, I'm not commenting on age at all. Notice, yeah, not that, but my
early 30s.
My point is that I wish I had gotten my license. That's a compliment. Like, I wish I would have gotten my license when I was 18. And I don't come from a real estate family. Like, my parents weren't in real estate. They didn't own a massive investment portfolio of real estate. Anyway, but my kids will be licensed when they're 18, and they will I will have them in classes when they're 17, so that on their 18th birthday, they have their license.
It could be working with you as their side hustle while they're in college, right? Buying their first investment property.
Exactly. And what did I do? I was a lifeguard. And
I wasn't much better. I was a waitress and a bartender. So
yeah, I loved being a lifeguard, but I mean, come on. All of whoever's watching this, whenever you have kids, all of your kids need to get their real estate licenses, and they can run around, and Maria and I will help them make money in the summers.
when they have little bits of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll go out.
Yeah, but back to the luxury market. We have clients under contract right now to buy in Philadelphia for 2022. And I take that as a phenomenal indicator of the strength of Philadelphia. Very bullish on Philadelphia. I think it's amazing that people are investing in the city 2 to 3 years in the future. And, the Laurel is about 30 to 40% sold out, which I think is great. The Art House is about, I want to say 15 to 20% sold. So people are making buying decisions for, early 2022, late 2021, and late 2022, almost 2023. So I don't know about you, Maria, but I think that's incredible.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that we're going to have to see that happens. Hopefully, this vaccine comes sooner than later, and our businesses, these small businesses can reopen and new businesses be reborn, because the fabric of our city is in the restaurants and in the businesses and in the events and the theater and the arts, and all of that's been shut down. So it's prayers for all those industries and all those people in those industries. Especially during this time, it's a very, especially with the holidays, and gosh, it's already hard enough, and then you can't see family, right? So.
Exactly. As we were talking about before we went live, the last 2 weeks have been somewhat insane for me, because I my kids had wanted to go to Arizona to visit my sister, who interestingly enough, is a physician who will be in charge of distributing the vaccine for her area in Flagstaff. And she's amazing, and she's been working nonstop, and that is also humbling because we've all been trying to pivot and work nonstop this year and try to make something out of this year, but my sister and all other medical personnel have really been challenged, and I can't even imagine what it must be like to be so essential and to also be in an environment every day where there's coronavirus all around you.
It's scary.
It's really humbling. But, as I mentioned to you, just to make this quick trip to Arizona happen, I had to agree to virtual learning for my kids this week. And as I was problem solving and being the solution with my parents, they fortunately offered to come back to Philadelphia with me from Arizona to help me quarantine with the kids, because there's no way that I could have pulled them out of school on my own to make that Thanksgiving trip happen without their help. So it's really challenging. I mean, I know people who have family locally are challenged by seeing them, and it must be so unique to not be able to see family that you typically see often. But I only see my parents a couple times a year, and really this year I haven't been able to see them at all. We've almost gone a year from seeing each other, and then to make this trip happen, I had to jump through all these hoops. It's really bizarre and unique. But they are here. They're here until Sunday, and I'm happy to have them. And my kids are loving the attention. It's very cool.
Yeah, that's excellent. And Flagstaff's a beautiful place. Do they live in Flagstaff or?
So yeah, they live in Flagstaff, and one of the reasons that I wanted my kids to be able to go on this trip, and I didn't want to disappoint them, which is why I really tried to jump through all these hoops, is because my sister leads the opposite lifestyle that I do. So, I'm all about urban living and walkability and walking here and there for my services and restaurants and office and everything, taking advantage of the city. She lives in unincorporated Flagstaff. She and her family live on 3 acres of land. My kids milked a goat when they were there. They have 2 outdoor dogs that my youngest son loves and adores. What else do they have? I don't know, a rabbit. They have a cat. Their neighbors have horses. It's a totally different lifestyle
For them that they were able to enjoy that.
Yeah, it is great. So we had a wonderful time, and I know you're very close with your family, so I mention it because we did have such a great Thanksgiving, and I think too, like, going along with what you would advise people in real estate as they're getting into it, and really everyone this year has had to reorganize their expectations. I try, don't get me wrong, I have high expectations for myself and team and business, but day to day, I try to practice having lower expectations during this time so that it protects me, it protects people around me, it allows me to be more resilient, I think. And then it also just allows me to be happier. Like, be happy about, like, the small wins that you have.
Yeah, I started this thing where I have this book, and then I write in it every day what I'm grateful for the day before. It's a little thing.
Yeah, what are you? Tell me, read some of it. I'm curious.
No, Kristen. No, it's very private. But that I'm grateful for, I will tell you. One of them is the ability to even work, the ability to help families, the ability to work in challenging situations where there's properties are very, very difficult to get sold, and working towards a solution to find them. The ability to love and the ability to be okay with being afraid and being scared of something and still doing it. Those are some of the things that I've been writing. I've only been writing for about a week and a half, so there's not that many in there. But it's literally just started, and it really changes your mindset because in the morning, I'm doing my best not to pick up my phone, which is over here, and go, okay, what happened in the last 8 hours since I've been sleeping? And come downstairs and breathe. Time to write and think and then start my day and follow my schedule. I'm at home right now because of the podcasts need to be done here because we have an active, the phones ring at the office. So, and it's only a small group of us there, but they ring and then people are talking and then.
Of course. Yeah, those are some great things to be, grateful and thankful for. I agree. It's fun to practice that. And again, everybody has to practice it. Without coronavirus, we wouldn't be maybe thinking about these small wins as much. I mean, some of the things that I like to do that are like little wins or little things that I love about life right now. I love hearing my kids breathe in their sleep. So I put my kids to bed most nights, and my 7-year-old, you saw my 9-year-old, but my 7-year-old is a heavy breather. And I love hearing his heavy breathing, and he's so asleep, and he's a good sleeper. So I love hearing that. And then my 9-year-old is, I love hearing him breathe too, obviously, but they breathe differently.
Sure.
And their breathing reflects their personalities. And it's really, really cute. So that's one thing I'm very grateful for. And on and on. I mean, I kiss my kids more than I've ever kissed them before. And now we have some inside jokes because we've spent so much time together this year. I have like little hand signals that I give them, and I'll we could be anywhere, and I'll just point to my nose and they point to their noses, and it's like a little kiss.
Oh, that's sweet.
Like those are like little things that I love. And then, from a work perspective, I love seeing success in others, and I'm sure you do too, which is why you do what you do and why you own a Remax office and franchise, and you run a team of tons of agents. And I love seeing, despite the chaos of this year, I love seeing the wins of our individual agents, not only on my team, but throughout our huge office that we have. We have agents who have been getting into development. We have agents who have had babies this year and who have kept their businesses going. We have agents who have chosen partners this year for their businesses and have, grown a team kind of overnight, which is amazing. We have agents on our team who have, closed business from unique relationships in high price points, and it's been their first time doing that. So I love seeing those first timers and seeing those first. It's really empowering and energizing. So what is your routine, Maria? Like, and I have to admit, I don't really have a routine. I think my routine is just, I try to, replicate happiness every day somehow. If I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I try to figure out how to correct it as soon as possible during my day.
If I wake up on the wrong side of the bed,
Yes.
I lay in bed and I do some very deep breathing exercises. It changes your physiology, which will change your mindset. So I'll do that and I'll actually lay there, and it does work. It does work. I mean, the deep breathing changes your whole being because you can't start your day off like that. And sometimes, we just don't sleep well. We have a lot of stress and pressures, and whatever, coughing in the middle of the night, getting up to go to the bathroom, cats in the bed, dogs in the bed, whatever. That kids in the bed, for us it's cats. And so sometimes we wake up that way and we have to regroup because we have to be the leaders, we have to be strong. We have to bring the energy, whether it's for ourselves, our staff, our husbands, our wives, our families, our team, our clients, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We owe it to them to bring it on the daily, because people are looking at us. So we have to get the mindset going. But you asked me a question about my daily schedule. So I get up anywhere. I don't have a set time. Partially it's because I don't sleep through the night, but nonetheless, I'm up by 7 regardless, at the very, very least. I get up, I come downstairs, I have my, this was the airborne this morning, the tea. I had the oatmeal already. And I write in the book, and then I sit and I think, and sometimes depending on the morning, I'll listen to a podcast, maybe it's all different ones, like Brene Brown, or I'm reading a couple different books right now. So I'll read 10, 15 pages in the book. And then I go up, I get ready, get dressed. And generally I work out of my office on South Street. So there I start my day immediately. I'm on the phone. I'm following up on anything that came in the night before. I spend my mornings like doing all client calls or agents or a combination of talking to people. And then I have appointments. So whether they're on Zoom or I'm walking through a property or I'm meeting with a potential new person for our company at our company. And I'm pretty much jam-packed from beginning to end. I'll do my videos that I put out all the time. I have multiple that go out every week. So I'm pretty sure I follow a schedule. I mean, there's very little downtime. You know, December's a little bit different. And I would say, I don't know that struggle is the right word, but I'm disappointed is probably a better word about December. Because December is the month where I get to reconnect with people like you that I might not have seen all year, whether it's at the real estate club, at the league, or BIA, or all these other different organizations, the Claire Harrison party. I mean, and I don't want to seem like I'm a social person, so like you, I don't feel like I'm going out to eat every day and at night, but I will go to things all the time. And so December is usually 25 days of being out every single day, night, and you know.
It's so much fun. All of those parties are so much fun. Well, you and I are going to see each other at the Union League Real Estate Club holiday dinner, right? The one at the guardhouse. Hopefully that.
As long as, you know, we're healthy, we'll be there.
Okay, good. And no, I totally agree. Even as you're talking, I'm like, oh, that's so exciting. And I love being able to, you know, go from one party to the next to the next.
I know it sounds crazy, but I do a lot of business. This lines up the next quarter and the next year because it's the reconnections that I made during this time. And then I actually follow up and follow through on them with the people that I've engaged with. And I usually meet new people as well. So the podcast has been a way for me to meet new people and to engage with them. And it's great. It's not the same as being in person, but I definitely, with Be the Solution, can reach many, many more people than I would ever in person. I still love old school, the flash, the hug, you know, the kiss, the ching-ching of the glass. But I do find that I am just trying to take this month one day at a time.
Yeah.
Not become overwhelmed and to really focus on the next 60 days, Kristen, because the next 60 days are critical, that you are taking all your energy and putting it into making sure that everything is lined up, because this is when most real estate people go to sleep. They take off. They take off. Usually there's a group that stops at the end of Halloween, and then after Thanksgiving, another group says, well, I'm not going to kind of hang out from now till January. This really isn't the time to do that. This is the time where we need to get very focused and very real about what our goals are, our commitments are, and make it even double of what we were doing before. And now we have time, so I don't know your thoughts about that, but
no, oh my gosh, right on. I absolutely, we're 100% aligned with that thought process. And this time in 2019, I was doubling down because, and I'm so thankful that I doubled down because it produced a really strong first quarter, and I had no idea coronavirus was going to be just around the corner. And so everything that you're saying resonates with me this time of year, and even more so this year. I mean, not just doubling down, but tripling down, because we hope that things will get better next year, but who knows? You never really know. And so, and that goes along with what I was saying earlier about work ethic. In our business, if you want to, if you really want to kill it like the top agents do everywhere, they're top agents for a reason. And there was a period of their career where they worked nonstop. And it's not just agents, it's anyone. It's Bill Gates worked nonstop for a period of his life. Steve Jobs worked nonstop for a period of his life, I think his whole life. Success, overnight success, it comes to very few. And so
I don't know if there is such a thing. I think you see all the glory, but you don't know the story, right? So
yeah, that's totally true.
There's stories behind every single one of us and how we've been able to get to where we are today and then continue to grow. But it's not through it's 100% through failure that you get there. Because if you don't fail, you won't succeed. You have to take risk. And I think it's like how risk adverse or risk friendly are you? And the more risk that you can take and the quicker that you can get back up when you're knocked down. That's why we said, do we get 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, or 5 days to follow and whatever? And the shorter time, and I think that's the big difference, Kristen, between in our industry and most industries, between people that are successful, is the time that they take between getting knocked down and getting back up and doing it again.
Yes. And you asked earlier how much time do I give myself, or how much time should one give themselves to be resilient and to get back up? I mean, it depends. It depends on kind of what the issue was that they're tackling, but the shortest amount of time is the best. And I look at my mentors, and I say that generally because I have so many mentors that I watch. And some of the best people that I've watched tackle, a lot of times they're guys, frankly. And I don't know if there are innate differences between women and men and how they tackle adversity. But I watch some guys just like, not sweat the small stuff. And I see women sweating more small things. And so
we have greater attention to detail, which is why we sweat the smaller things.
Yeah, and sometimes when I realize I might be getting in my own way with something, sometimes I tell myself to think like a guy. Or just, I don't do it as much anymore, but there was a period where I was like, okay, what would a guy do? A guy would just move through this. and sometimes and now I'm so busy that I don't even have time to tell myself that to think like a guy. I just think like a busy, well-rounded, multifaceted woman, I guess, or person who has a full work and personal life, which is, I think, a good way and something good. I will just.
I think our feminine energy is very strong, and I think that I- myself included, a lot of us strong women have used that male energy, and it wasn't, I don't believe, to 100% benefit us the way that we think that it was in my learning lesson.
Yeah. That's a big topic. It's super interesting. Super interesting. And there are other thoughts that I have about that too. I love social media. You love social media. I love how you've dedicated yourself to be the solution here. But during coronavirus, I've actually been posting more memories, I think, and I've been a little bit more introspective, and I haven't been as believe it or not, I haven't been as public as some of the peers in the industry, just because I don't know, I don't feel like it necessarily. I'm still very public, as you know, but I enjoy just kind of like chilling. I've and protect kind of chilling, relaxing, protecting. I don't feel the need to be as open as maybe I could be. But I'm still very out there. I don't know. But I do see some of my peers or like male peers, and they're doing that, and I'm just like, that's awesome. I don't necessarily feel that type of energy right now to just be so over the top outgoing, but I'm happy that other people do, and that's fine, because I think everybody's responding to this time in a different way.
Look, it's hard. It's a hard thing. I mean, I kind of some days want to be like, let me just close it all down, meaning all of it. But
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the message is a good message and people need positivity. So I want to do the best that I can every day to bring people the positivity, because I know, and I'm strong, and I know some days, wow, if I feel this way, I talk to people on the phone, Kristen,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, and they are not good.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good. They're not in good places.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, well, if I can bring a light, a bright light, maybe it'll help a few people. And then that's what I'm doing. So,
Absolutely.
but it's hard. I mean, it's hard, especially when you talk to people and you hear like, and some of are investors and developers, and people are scared,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
No, totally. And that's why we really need to be grateful for any success that everyone has had this year. So congratulations, everyone, to hopefully our collective success, and really double down right now and in January, and moving forward. I was going to say earlier that one of my team members and I had a conversation, and this. Every year you have people taking vacations at various times during the year, and if you're on vacation, you can't really get work done in Philadelphia. We're not, I don't think we're in a business where we can do much virtually. And so, and I know I am most productive in real estate when I'm here, but I told one of my team members, I said, look, work as hard as you can between now and June and the end of the second quarter. And if you do that and you really work every hour that you can work, you can go ahead and take off July and August almost, or take off July. Take a good chunk of time off and go to Maine for a month, or go do whatever you want, because we are the owners of our own businesses.
Have you ever taken a month off, Kristen? Curious.
I aspire to. I aspire to, but I will say that over the last 10 years that I've had a team, my life has been my life has really been designed around my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I had my babies in 2011 and 2013, and I needed time over the last 10-year period to really figure out how to raise them without compromising client care. So fortunately for me, at various points over the years, while I haven't necessarily been able to take a month off, I've been able to spend amazing time with family out of state in a very low stress way because of my team and my approach to doing business. I've been able to go to London over the last couple of years. I've been able to go to France over the last couple of years. Last year during the summer, I see these memories popping up. I'm like, oh, that was an insane trip in Paris and Saint-Tropez.
Isn't that so special that you can think back on all those wonderful memories?
Absolutely. And then this summer, and maybe next summer, for the first time ever, to your point, and this is a benefit from the chaotic year we've had, I decided to rent a beautiful home in Ocean City, New Jersey for the first time for about 2.5 weeks. So that's kind of the longest time period that I've spent. And I still was close to Philadelphia, but I was able to rent, a beautiful home with access to the bay and these stand-up paddle boards and these kayaks. And my kids and I were just out. We bought a boat, which I hadn't ever thought about owning a boat, but we did. We bought a manageable, kind of 22-foot boat,
Great.
and my kids love it, and I loved it too. And now I can understand, the Philadelphia love for the shore. And we haven't made plans to do it yet, but we'll probably do it this summer again. And whether it's for 2.5 weeks or whether it's for longer, I can't wait. It'll be super exciting. I'm so grateful that my kids know how to swim.
Yeah, that's fun.
Finally, I've told parents, or I've told people this over the years, that I've spent many very unglamorous nights at the YMCA at 17th and Christian watching my kids learn how to swim. And it has not been glamorous, but they know how to swim, and they're safe for the most part, because now they're like pushing each other in the water and I don't have to freak out as much or save them. I've actually lost phones because I've had to jump in and save these kids.
Oh my gosh.
So whatever, those are ups and downs.
Yeah.
The little things we used to worry about before this year.
Right. Well, I aspire to take a month off. So I had planned it for this year. Actually, it was just under a month, but obviously my trip to Italy and Greece did not happen. So that was supposed to be for my big birthday, but hopefully this summer we'll be able to make that dream happen. Luckily, we took a big trip at the end of last year. We left on the 20th, I think, of December. The 21st we left, actually. We came back on January 9th, and we were in Europe, in Munich and Salzburg and Vienna and Budapest and then Milan. And it seems like a lifetime ago. And we went to the ball in Vienna, the New Year's Eve Viennese ball. It was unbelievable. We were in like these gowns, and I look at the gown and I say, oh my gosh, like that actually happened. And this is actually happening. And this is crazy. Like it seems so like my life and world seems like a lifetime ago.
I look forward to traveling more. I mean, just this little jaunt that I had over the last couple of days to Flagstaff, Arizona, I realized like just how important it is. I mean, I've always known it's been important to travel, but I can't wait to explore. We went to the Grand Canyon when we were out on Thursday. What's today? Wednesday. On Friday of last week, my kids and I were hiking in the Grand Canyon.
It's quite a big hole, isn't it?
It's a big hole.
It was there in September.
Yeah, it's a big hole. And I know, like and that started a conversation with my son about going to Glacier National Park, which I think is in Montana. I don't really know. I have to double check that. But that's now maybe on our bucket list for this summer if we're able to travel freely again and safely. And then, it just starts anyway, it starts a whole nother conversation. Just why wait? Once we can travel freely, I hope and think that we're going to see a massive travel and hospitality boon. And if that industry can just make it through to hopefully this summer or like this time next year, I think the world is going to just explode with positive, travel experiences. And I can't wait. And I want to go to Iceland in the summer because I typically like to go to warmer climates. I don't know. There is a whole list of areas.
So your kids, if you're going to go to some parks, I've been to Zion and Bryce Canyon.
Okay.
Really, really amazing places. We hiked and it was breathtaking. I highly recommend Zion and Bryce Canyon.
Cool. Well, thank you. I'll check those out for sure.
Yeah, they're in Utah. So we drove from Las Vegas to them.
Oh yeah, you were in Las Vegas. That's another place. I mean, who doesn't love going out and in
we
Vegas?
didn't really do much going out. We ate dinner, but there wasn't a lot of going out. But nonetheless, I did enjoy our day trip to the Grand Canyon because I always like to tie something else into a business experience. So it was fun.
Cool.
But Kristen, I appreciate you and I thank you for being the solution and being such a great advocate for our business. And I wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful 2021. And I do hope to see you next week.
Yes, definitely. Maria, I feel the same. Thank you for creating your Be the Solution series. I look forward to it. As you know, I randomly tune in most mornings that you host it at 8:30 while I'm making.
At 8:30 and usually Fridays at 8:30 now.
Okay, great. Yeah, I and it's fantastic. I loved your Chase Lenfest conversation.
Yeah, isn't it great?
That was amazing, and all the work that he's doing in the Allegheny West neighborhood.
Hunting Park.
Hunting Park, yeah. And he's right. That's an area that is just, it's neighboring to all this gentrification and development and appreciation, and nothing is happening around there right now. So anyway, no, continue. I support Be the Solution. Thank you so much for having me. And Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everyone. And I can't wait to hang out with you in December, even though we might be socially distant. But yeah, let's get together and have some holiday wine, have some cheer.
Yes, a nice little hot toddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great to see you, Kristen. Thank you so much.
Great to see you. Bye, everyone.